right, so thanks for watching another stream. Thanks for watching another video. My name is Dennis, and I love talking about Tesla deal hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. So definitely check out my Patreon link down below in the description, where you can support the channel and get access to the ultimate Tesla buying guide out there with all the best interest rates for financing your Tesla. So if you check it out, Patreon link down below in the description. So shout out to Inside EVs. They posted this: US EV fuel cost savings potential is $10,000 over 100,000 miles. Quote, the larger the vehicle, the greater the fuel cost savings potential. I guess that makes sense, because the larger the vehicle, the bigger the truck, the bigger the SUV. It's not going to have as good as an MPG. So if you can switch to electric, I mean, also electric trucks and electric SUVs don't do as well in terms of efficiency of energy, battery to translating it to the powertrain as well. But still, you're going to save a lot more by converting the bigger vehicles than these smaller vehicles. But they cite here with this graph basically that you're going to save about 10 cents per mile savings, all the way up to 100,000 miles at $10,000. But I'm not too sold on this one, and there's a lot of different costs that you need to be aware about if you're buying a Tesla vehicle. The number one thing is, if you're going to be supercharging is not cheap at all. It's pretty expensive, anywhere from $20 to $40 each time you fill up, at least in the California area. Maybe it's less expensive on wherever you're at, other places or other states. I mean, it has to be, because electricity rates are different by every state as well. So most likely the superchargers are going to be lower as well. But the biggest thing is that supercharging, or charging at a supercharger, I kind of relate it to the same amount of cost as owning a hybrid vehicle. It's going to be about the same efficiency, and each time you go to the supercharger station, you're going to spend the same amount of money to go per mile for that different type of thing. But the first thing here is this: before we get into all the different math on really the three things that you need to be aware about in terms of actual costs, should be pretty simple. Try and figure out which direction I'm going. But the first one is, like, how can you calculate how much your battery is going to charge by charging a Tesla vehicle? So we'll just start with the Model Y, because Model Y is pretty average and is about the same as the Model 3 anyway. But a Model Y has about a battery size of around 75 kilowatts. And there's actually great calculators out there where you can try and figure out what kilowatt rate you pay at home, wherever you're at, or if you're renting as well. And there's also websites that kind of give you an average of what the kilowatt or cents per kilowatt might actually be. And you can see all the different states here. This is the number that you're looking for. How much cents are you paying per kilowatt? And you can try and see the quick math that we can get here. So if you're paying like 10 cents a kilowatt, or I guess no one really is besides North Dakota, but if you're paying 10 cents times the size of the battery, of course minus a little bit of efficiency loss, but you can get some round numbers, or some decent round numbers of where that would be. So the first one here is like this: so 10 cents, 75 kilowatt battery, and that's going to be $7.50 to fill up this Model Y in full, and to go about what, like 300 miles, or whichever it is, or maybe even 280 miles depending on whatever that is. So you can kind of try and do some of the quick math that is to figure out how much it is going to be to charge up your Tesla vehicle at your house. And you might have messed around with Tesla's website, where you can see all the different calculators that they have as well. So let's just go into this a little bit. So 5-year period, which I think on average most people keep their cars for 5 years. You can put in your gasoline cost, so it's going to be a little bit higher. So let's just put it like $4.5 or $4.50, because I think that's what the gasoline cost in California is at the moment. And if compare it against a vehicle that had a 25 mile per gallon vehicle, and electricity is definitely not 16 cents in California. It's around 25 cents on average. And you can see electricity would cost us about $700 a year to charge up this vehicle. And the one thing we don't find here is how much miles we actually drive, which I wish they could put that in to add some more calculations as here. But it says estimated gas cost would be $1,800. So really over the course of 5 years here, we'll be saving, according to Tesla, about $5,500, which kind of goes in line with that other website saying that we're going to have a gas savings of $10,000 over 10 years. But nowadays there's vehicles that can go even better in terms of miles per gallon. There's hybrids that can go all the way up to like 50 miles per gallon, or maybe even more, on average 40 miles a gallon. So you can see here, if we put a vehicle that's 50 miles per gallon equivalent, then we're really not saving that much money. And you can see estimated gas savings over 5 years is $1,000 total. So really you're starting to see that gas cars are kind of getting to the level of cost savings. And if you buy an electric vehicle, you have to install chargers and pay for supercharging as well. So I'm not necessarily trying to paint a negative here for electric vehicles, but I do want to give you the information that is out there, because if you go with a wall charger, let's say you go with like a Tesla wall charger at $450, and let's say you go with installation like through a Tesla authorized installer like Smart Plug EV in the Southern California area, ask owner Mario for a deal, the dentist deal, if you want to get hooked up for here. But these prices can cost anywhere from, since there's a Tesla authorized installer with 4-year warranty, like $450 all the way up to, like, depending on how far in the box and if you need upgrades and like things like that, I can see $1,000 to $2,000. But let's say $1,000 on average, probably that's what it is for most people, plus the wall charger of like $500 out the door with tax. You can see if we add that number up plus the install of $1,000, plus if you're going to be doing road trips once or every quarter for the next 5 years, you're going to pay for supercharging as well. So I just put $500 in supercharging over the course of 5 years. You can see just hard costs before you even start to do anything with the Tesla vehicle is about $2,000 over the next 4 to 5 years by owning it and powering that electric vehicle. So really, depending on your situation, if you've already got a fuel efficient hybrid, you might not see any sort of savings at all. Now, of course, if you're going from like a vehicle that did like 15 miles per gallon, then yes, you're going to see some savings, especially if it's like an older vehicle that really did not do well with fuel efficiency at all. But hopefully that helps with all the different links and all the different calculators that are out there. You can do the math yourself and figure out, in your situation, are you going to be saving money by switching to a Tesla vehicle? And most likely you are, but you got to be aware of some hard costs like installation and charger installation that you need to be aware about.